Hi and welcome to a very special episode of Iconic Rides here at Brands Hatch in Kent. Well, do we have a treat for you? Being at a race circuit means one thing. We are featuring a racing car, but not just any race car. This one in particular has been driven by two world champions. This is the Lola T70, driven by John Surtees and Graham Hill, and in 1966 won the Can-Am Series, winning 5 out of the 6 races. I caught up with current day owner of this car, Mike Whitaker, to find out more about this iconic car. First things first, tell us, who's Mike Whitaker?
I work for a bank and I run operations and technology, but I'm a wannabe racing car driver and have been. I'm in my 50s now and have been from my teens, so this is what I do to relax.
Where did the passion for race cars come from?
Not really my father or anything like that. I think I just watched things on the television. I think Ford Escorts from the 70s, there was a lot of rallying shown, and that's really where things like that is where I started. So more from watching things on a small black and white TV, really.
Really? We've been told you've got a very competitive side. Where did that edge come from?
I think I sort of describe myself as somebody who likes to do things well rather than being competitive, which I think the guys laugh about. But I just think if you're doing something, anything in life, if you're painting the shed, if you're at the bank doing work, if you're racing your car, why not do it as well as you can? So I try to be really organised. You know, there's me, there's the car, there's the track. You know, there's components of the car like the engine. So we just try and have the best setup that we can. I don't come from super successful parents or anything like that, but I do get classified as competitive, but it's just more that I like to try and do the best that I can.
That's lovely. So there's been a lot of changes to the T70. How do you think they're going to benefit?
We were asked last year to make some changes to the car. There were some rules that have been in place for a number of years that were sort of changed for us. So main changes were around the engine and some elements of the suspension. We were worried that they were going to slow us down because we had to run an earlier specification. But actually, from how we've run today, it looks like we're sort of still doing about the same times as ever.
So tell us, what makes this particular T70 so special?
Well, it was a Lola Works racing car, so it's a Lola T70 Works racing car. It was part of Team Surtees, John Surtees' sort of Lola racing team, and it was raced by John himself. It was raced by world champion Graham Hill and quite a successful British professional called David Hobbs. And then it went into America and it was raced by teams like Parnelli Jones and Penske Racing in the 60s and into the 70s. So it's got a fantastic sort of historic pedigree, and I particularly bought it because it was a Surtees car. I really like John Surtees. I think he was a champion on 2 wheels and 4, and he was a very understated gentleman, and I'd met him through some racing. So when I decided to buy a T70 to go racing at Goodwood, I sort of thought I should try and find a car with suitable history, and we bought this one.
Tell us about this series and the competition you're up against.
The car's eligible for quite a few historic racing series here, Europe and in the US. I really race it at 2 places. It gets an invitation every year to the Goodwood Revival, which is a special event on its own, and then we come racing here with the historic Masters, and it runs in a class of cars that are around about its age until maybe 1973, 1974, and they're all endurance racing cars. Some cars have raced at Le Mans and things like that. So the car itself is competitive in its class, but you won't see it outright win at the weekend. You know, if we're lucky, it will win its class. But it's on the edge of the era where they had way too much power and the tyres and brakes weren't good enough. So it's a very physical car to drive. It slides and it wheel spins and it's like PlayStation fun. I'll probably finish somewhere like 10th, 14th or something, but we'll have a good chance of winning the class. The series races here and Europe, but it's just really one of the last great cars that has just so much power compared to grip.
How exciting. Well, you're out in the circuit in a few minutes. What do you expect from the new setup?
Well, we're hoping to try and get near to the sort of lap times and the level of competition that we had last year, because we've had to change the car. We'll see how the engine behaves, because the characteristics of the engine have changed a little bit. It delivers power lower down and doesn't rev quite as hard. And then the other thing we need to try and do is make sure we have a balance of the car so that it doesn't sort of slide too much at the rear. We'll go out, we've got a setup that we've calculated, and we'll try, and then it'll be 3-4 laps in, did that work? And then we'll just change it through the day until we sort of work out what was the best lap time we had through all the variants of setup, and that's how we'll start the race weekend.
Well, it's just starting to rain. Is that going to make any difference out on the track?
It makes things a little bit more difficult, but actually I'm one of those people who loves racing in the rain. And when I started years ago, I didn't. I sort of thought rain spoilt the weekend. And actually, because I enjoy very low grip cars that need a lot of sort of manual control, rain is sort of, one of the best ways to kind of learn car control.
Really? So this is amazing for you then? Perfect weather for you?
Yeah, I pray for rain.
And you've got it.
I've got it here.
Well, thank you so much. Best of luck, and we'll catch up with you later. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
While Mike goes and gets ready for his test laps, we thought we'd show you some behind-the-scenes footage of what it takes to get a car ready for a day like today.
My name's Philip Cheek. We're in Complete Motorsport Solutions, based in Huntingdon. We look after a wide range of historic motor cars for clients who wish to race them all over Europe. This is a 1966 Lola T70 Mark II, originally bought by John Surtees in 1966. It was driven by Graham Hill, David Hobbs and John Surtees himself. John Surtees was a huge help to Lola developing these cars with the Team Surtees cars. He was the one that made them compliable and made them race winners, really. It has a 5.7 Chevy small block in it. It produces roughly between 500 to 550 horsepower, but also with 500 foot-pound of torque. It revs to a red line of 7,000, but most of the torque is produced from 3,000 upwards. So again, it's the torque that really helps. The history behind this car is what makes it really unique. The drivers that it's had, the races that it's won, and the development that went into the car for Lola as well, for the next T70. Lola have been around for years, developing cars. They've been in the likes of Formula One, sports cars, Can-Am, Le Mans, IndyCar. Yeah, the history behind them is huge. It's not just sports cars, it's the single-seaters and the development behind them. Lola T70s, Mark I and Mark II, so the open-top Spiders, I believe there was 48 of those. And then they moved on to the Mark IIIBs, which were the closed-top. It's constantly with us in our workshop. We look after it and maintain it. We take it all over the UK for the current customer. It normally runs at races such as Brands Hatch Grand Prix, Silverstone, and Goodwood Revival. Each time we transport it there, look after it with trackside assistance, and then bring it back, re-prep the car, make sure that everything's okay and safe for the driver. We have a huge passion behind the car. It's not just this car, but any car that we put out on circuit, we are 100% responsible for. We make sure that, we would drive it. We would make sure that everything on that car is correct and make sure that it's as safe as it can be. It's a horrible environment. Motorsport is dangerous. We make sure that it's 100% correct. I believe all the cars that we look after, including this one, is for the owners, is something special. It's something that they've grown up seeing in the headlines. It's something that they watched. I believe they're now lucky enough and fortunate enough to be able to afford these cars and go race them. And again, we're lucky enough to prepare them to the best standards that we can and compete with them, take them all over Europe and really look after them for them. So the current driver of it pushes it to its limits. Very, very good driver, and I'd like anyone to race against him. In historic motorsport, in the paddock, the teams all know each other. We all get along well. If anyone needs anything, we're all more than willing to help. It's not as cutthroat as as modern motorsport as such, and we all want to see each other do well. I think the future of these cars will be challenging. I think health and safety will come into it, motorsport regulations and bits and pieces. I think, one day they might just be restricted to demonstrations. It's not something that I'd like to see. I personally like to see them being raced, and if they're looked after properly, there's no reason why they can't race.
What Phil didn't tell us was the engine for Mike's car only arrived back in the UK 48 hours ago. The clock was ticking as soon as Phil took the engine out of the packing crate.
The engine for the T70 just arrived, ready for brands at the weekend. Pressure's on a little bit, but nothing impossible, so we'll get it done. And so literally off the dyno yesterday morning, and then couriered to us overnight for us ready today. Horsepower-wise, it's 560, and torque, I think it's around 500, 510. So actually converting it to this, we've ended up with the same power, but gained more torque. So if anything, it's going to be, as long as it's not too much torque, it's going to be a little bit more drivable now.
After checking it was all here, assembly started.
We'll fit the clutch, line the clutch up, then get the gearbox onto the back of it, and then drop it into the car and start all the installation and plumbing and electrics. So just lining the clutch up so that the input shaft of the gearbox slides in nicely, keeps the disc central, and then obviously the shaft, so it goes straight into the spigot bearing. One Goodwood 3-4 times now, holds the lap record there. Very competitive. So now mounting the gearbox onto the engine, bell housing's already on the gearbox, so just get it all together into one piece and then into the car. Hewland LG 600, 5-speed gearbox from Period.
The engine, with help from other members of the crew, is then lifted into the chassis, lined up and bolted into place.
Now we're going to have to go up high, go into the space and then hopefully drop it down, making sure that everything's okay and not damaging anything. And I was talking to Mike yesterday, saying that I'm actually looking forward to getting it back into one piece, ready for the weekend. So, obviously, like all men, wants to go faster. So we're trying a few different things in testing. He's happy with the car. And the results prove that it's pretty quick. Always nice to try and get every last little bit out of it. So we borrowed an engine from another T70 that we've got, placed it in the car, and then brand new exhaust system made to suit the new intake. Whatever it run in Period is what you're allowed to do. Other than that, nothing. You're not allowed to change things really. The carb changes come from the FIA, purely stating that 1965 cars have to run side draft engines rather than down drafts. It was a new rule that was brought in last year, and all the drivers have to foot the bill and get them converted back. So.
This might look like it's almost ready to go, but lots of pipes, cables and adjustments have to be made before it can be loaded into the trailer for its trip to Brands Hatch. We finally made it here today at Brands Hatch, and behind me is Mike's amazing Lola T70. Okay, so we only have 10 minutes to go before Mike takes this car out on the track for the first time this season. Everybody's looking looking up. There are a lot of rain clouds here today, but hopefully we get a bit of sunshine soon.
A little slippery, we had some rain just as we set off, but you know, the new engine's fitted, nothing leaked, everything worked, so we'll go out again in about another 30 minutes. Brilliant. And now start to try and go quicker.
So I hear the car's had a lot of things to do, a lot of changes with it. How's that affected it so far?
Well, we're hopefully now going to go quicker when we go back. That's it, just started up.
And it's amazing.
It's basically we'll make some suspension changes so that the front of the car grips better as we enter a corner. Right. We always struggle with grip leaving a corner thanks to that noise and that power, but it's really just trying to get the car to grip on the way in, and the guys have just basically softened the front suspension.
Well, I'm sure John Surtees and Graham Hill would be very proud to know that their 1966 championship winning car is still very competitive and in the hands of a very determined driver. We've had an amazing day here at Brands Hatch, not just seeing Mike's Lola, but seeing all the other period race cars that are here to do what they do best, racing. We will be following Mike's progress throughout the series and keeping you updated on Mike's success. That's all we have time for here at Brands Hatch today, but we will be seeing you next time with another iconic ride. Bye for now.